Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's our topic is Sun. Random facts about the sun's age, size and history. Our sun is revealing its secrets thanks to a fleet of missions designed to study it. The sun lies at the heart of the solar system, where it is by far the largest object. It holds 99.8% of the solar system's mass and is roughly 109 times the diameter of the Earth. About 1 million Earths could fit inside the sun. The surface of the sun is about 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit hot, while temperature at the core reach more than 27 million F. Driven by nuclear reactions, one would need to explode 100 billion tons of dynamite every second of the match the energy produced by the sun. The sun is one of more than 100 billion stars in the Milky Way. It orbits some 250 light years from the galactic core, completing a revolution once every 250 million years or so. The sun is a relatively young part of a generation of stars known as population, which are relatively rich in elements higher than helium. An older generation of stars is called population 2, and an earlier generation of population 3 may have existed, although no members of this generation are known yet. The sun was born about 4.6 billion years ago. Many scientists think that sun and the rest of the solar system formed from a giant rotating cloud of gas and dust known as the solar nebula. Is the nebula collapsed because of its gravity? It spun faster and flattened into a disk. Most of the material was pulled toward the center of the sun. Related, how was the sun formed? The sun has formed enough nuclear fuel to stay much as it is now for another 5 billion years. After that, it will swell to become a red giant. Actually, it was shed its outer layers and the remaining core will collapse to become a white dwarf. Slowly, the white dwarf will fade and will enter its final phase as dim, cool theoretical object, sometimes known as a black dwarf. When will the sun die? The sun and the atmosphere of the sun are divided into several zones and layers. The solar interior from the inside out is made up of the core, radiative zone and the concave zone. The solar atmosphere above the consists of the photosphere, chromosphere and transition region and the corona. Beyond that is the solar wind and outflow of gas from the corona. The core extends from the sun's center about a quarter of the way to its surface. Although it only makes roughly 2% of the sun's volume, it is almost 15 times the density of lead and holds nearly half of the sun's mass. Next is the radiative zone, which extends from the core to 70% of the way the sun's surface, making 32% of sun's volume and 48% of its mass. Light from the core gets started in this zone, so that a single photon often may take a million years to pass through. The convection of zone reaches up to the sun's surface and makes up 66% of the sun's volume, but only a little more than 2% of its mass. Roiling convection cells of gas dominate this zone. Two main kinds of solar convection cells exist: granulation cells about 600 miles wide and supergraduation cells about 20,000 miles in diameter. The photosphere is the lowest layer of the sun's atmosphere and emits the least C. It's about 300 miles thick, although most of the light comes from its lowest third temperatures. Temperatures in the atmosphere range from 11,000 F at the bottom to 704. At the next up is the chromosphere, which is up to 35,500 F and is approximately made up entirely